There's a grading plan and like a, looks like standard plan for this barn.
Yeah, they're basically factoring. Yeah, it could. Yeah,
Wasn't a landscape plan that I saw.
mhm. And also there's a comment about the fire department driveway material, and I'm not sure how to respond to that.
Oh, it looks like we have Jonathan
Yeah.
online for C1. Hi, Jonathan, can you hear us?
I can hear you. Yeah.
Yep,
Hi.
perfect. Thank you.
Yes, hi. Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
Do you have a landscape plan for the disturbed areas?
So, yeah, I was a little confused about that. The only thing that they're going to be doing, I know on the civil plans, is just regrading and daylighting that area. And we did run it by the fire department, and they seem to be amicable with the driveway design. Basically, minimum amount of disturbance on the property. The only thing that's possibly going to be removed are some very sickly lemon trees that are in that area. They're not on the survey because the survey basically just looked at the oak trees and some of the more prominent trees on the site itself. But there's a spattering of lemon trees that are
Go to the
within that
side.
area as well. But other than that, we're not really doing any landscaping per se, just doing the gravel driveway.
Is there a site plan we can look at?
Yes, so there should be a site plan on my drawings. These are actually the drawings for the building yet. So this is the approval from the fire department on our site plan with some comments there. And then there should be another set of plans that have basically the architectural site plan, the civil, and the septic information. Yeah, I think that's on this one here. So that one.
Do you have the other plans?
Yeah. Separate sheet.
Jonathan, yeah.
Yeah, it should be on A0.2 for the main plans.
Do you happen to know what sheet number that would be?
Well, that set right there is just the set for the building, the prefab building.
Okay.
So there should be another one.
I have the color chart, and this is the
Okay.
permit here. But I don't. This is the lot. These are only 3 items that I have in the set.
Okay. Yeah, there should have been another plan that was given to the planner. And that one should have been 2025-0707 HH stable PDF.
Do you have a way to get that PDF to Jonathan? Is that, or does it need to go to the planner? Or?
It would not be in the folder for more than 72 hours prior to our hearing, and they are here for a preliminary and final determination. So I think that would be up to the board to accept that.
So the planner is not here?
Planner, Tatiana, I believe is online.
Hi, this is the planner, Tatiana. Yes, I'm here on Zoom. The sheets that you have up, I think, are what I received and uploaded, but I'm looking in our files, and for the previous meeting, we did have an additional set of drawings.
I did.
So I think maybe that's the one that.
Yeah, no, Tatiana, I did upload you the latest set also with the other ones.
Let me check back in the last hearing, see if they're in that folder, and we can possibly bring them up.
Will have those drawings changed since the last hearing?
Yeah, they have.
Probably got to get the current ones to us, right?
Yeah. Didn't change a lot. Basically, we took out the front porch area and made it part of the prefab building instead of add-on wood structure.
Tatiana, do you have the new drawings or not?
I don't. The only sheets I received right now were those 3 that are up, but I'm checking to see.
I did send that. I can resend it.
Was it in the email?
It was in the email, yeah.
Okay, in the email, I was only seeing these 3 attachments that are that I uploaded.
Yeah, it's the yeah, it's the one that I gave you on
Okay, so we'll go to the second item. Try to straighten it out between you two. Get the drawings, and we'll proceed with the rest of the consent calendar, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
very good. So let's move on to item C2, the tunnel ridge retaining walls. It's Ken Dixon here, or anybody, is he online maybe?
Fine.
Okay, good. Okay, yeah, I look at the drawings online, they seem fine. You did lower the roof. Just only comment is that it's facing the southwest. It has windows all over the place. It's up in the hill. It's gonna cook, it's gonna be really warm.
This is
but
Jonathan.
Yeah.
Jonathan,
But-
Tatiana with County Planning.
Oh yeah.
Excuse me?
Okay, I muted them.
Okay, so yeah, but the drawings are complete. We said lower the roof protruding from the right side. You did that, so it's ready to be approved. So we will do that. But advise, try to find some shading device on, especially on the windows on the southwest. That's just a professional advice. That's all. But ready to go. Okay, now it's C3 Grinnell addition. Let's see, on 4055 Naranjo Drive. So we have a, this is a, can you put that on the screen, please? Is the applicant here?
Yes, Sarai Grinnell.
Yes, I'm here.
Great. Can we go to the drawings, please, really quick?
You did have a memo. I'm not sure if you want to read that first.
What does it say?
Due to relative minor exterior alterations to the dwelling, the project has been placed on the agenda for conceptual, preliminary, and final review. Oh, this might be an old one.
Yeah, it seems like pretty good. Pretty, yeah, let's move on to, yes, I had a question about the elevations. Did you have are you in the high fire area?
Yes,
Yes, so you have a skirt under the deck, right?
yes.
Okay, and your overhangs and everything else, it's okay with the fire department?
As far as I know, yes, we are
Mhm.
going through building and safety. We're
Okay, all right.
essentially we
Okay,
are
the
just
comment was that project is acceptable as proposed and it seems complete, it's ready to go. So thank you.
okay. Thanks.
And that completes well, let's go back to C1, see what happened, where we are with that.
Okay, let's see, here's the applicant here for C1, Jonathan.
Tatiana, were you able to get any clarity?
Tatiana, I don't know if you can hear us, but we were seeing if you had any resolution for item number C1.
Hey, Gwen here, supervising planner. I'll message Tatiana. I'm assuming they might still be on the phone because it sounded like they were coordinating on the phone. Are we able to return to item C1 later on?
We can wait to finalize to approve the consent agenda. So
Okay. She just messaged and said she's getting the plans from the applicant now.
Okay, well, let's move on with the meeting and we'll get
Thank
back
you.
to
one
it.
second though, Gwen, can you have her clarify whether she had them in the time frame that was needed or not? Because otherwise we just have to kick it to the next meeting.
She said that the plans were not attached to the email before. So she
Okay.
would not have had them. She just received them right now.
Okay, so I think we have to.
Continue then for the
Continue
next,
that
next
item.
meeting. Okay, very good. All right.
Thank you.
Okay, so,
Okay,
Madam Chair.
all right. We'll begin the SBAR hearing for July 11th. And We'll begin with any public comment not pertaining to items in today's agenda.
We have nobody in the attendees column for today's, we have nobody in the attendees column. If anybody is here to make a public comment, please raise your hand. Seeing none,
Okay, we'll close public comment, move on to the agenda status report.
agenda status report. Item number 2 has actually asked to be dropped from today's agenda,
Okay,
and that does not require a motion.
okay. And we'll move on to review the minutes from June 2nd and 20th. We already reviewed 2nd, so we'll just need to make a motion the 20th.
We have the members ready. We have everybody that needs to vote. I mean,
Let's confirm. Seems like we do for once.
I'll make a motion to approve those minutes.
The 2nd or the 6th?
The 6th, yeah.
Okay. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I recused, so.
Okay, so we still
We
have,
have one recusal.
okay. And then reviewing June 20th minutes. It was pretty small, so. Okay, do we have a second?
Josh first, we need a second.
Oh, and,
Wasn't here.
okay, I don't know if this is the time to bring this up, but I guess public comment wasn't heard on item 5 of this agenda, but there was no public commenters in the audience or online, if, as confirmed by Jonathan.
Yes.
So just putting that into the record. Sorry, we had a second. All those in favor? Aye.
I wasn't here.
Valerie and Robert abstain. I'm sorry, Valerie and Kira abstain.
Yeah, Valen.
Do I have to recuse because I was part of item number 4?
No, not for minutes. Or that's. my-
No, not for minutes.
Okay, moving on to Aspire members' informational briefings. Anybody have anything?
I have a quick item. I just had some informal discussions with members of the Summerlin Community Association, and there was some discussion about ways that if they're able to get plans ahead of conceptual. So I'm hoping to get some clarification from county on that, if we're able to share plans. I know there's privacy issues, but if that's something that we need to, I'd like that clarified actually, so that we could look for ways that they could be more involved in just seeing plans.
Sorry.
Go on.
Joe is not available today, but we do have Gwen.
Okay. Gwen, were you able to hear Kira's question?
Yes, could you repeat it though, just so I'm understanding what exactly that you're asking?
Sure, thanks, Gwen. Yeah, I just had some informal discussions with a couple leaders of the Summerlin Community Association who are, interested in Summerlin projects, of course, seeing what strategies or, what we could share with them prior to conceptual presentation. If I think previously they were sent PDFs of plans, and is that a policy that's changed in
Oh, I see.
January?
Okay, so this is so somebody who wants to see conceptual plans that are going to be heard at a future meeting. So not an applicant, just community members.
Correct. Like this would be not like an applicant just sending them
Gotcha, okay.
plans. Is that something that we're able to do?
Okay, yeah, that's a really good question. And to be honest, it's something I don't want to give you an answer on yet because Joe will be able to speak to it better because he's more in the know about our applications and forms and whether or not the designers and architects give that consent to be able to have their plans be viewed by the public. So can we get back to you at the next meeting? I'm
I
sorry.
can actually help out with that, Gwen.
Oh,
Because
great. Thank
one
you.
of the hats of hearing support is
Great.
processing our records requests. The reason that we're not able to distribute the plans is we need to get first the applicant permission to distribute the plans because they are copyrighted until they're finalized. So we would need permission from the applicant to release those PDFs. Other process has been to either have members of the public come in and view the plans or go the other route of getting permission from the applicant or the owner to distribute.
Okay, thank you for that. Once it's reviewed conceptually, in a public setting, is there a PDF that is shared after that, or that's something they could look at
It would still need to be
on these screens?
authorized through, they can look at the Zoom hearing and all of the plans are shared through our screen here. So it is in the public view, but we still need permission to distribute it in a PDF form. Yeah, exactly. Or they come to the hearing.
Thank you.
Thanks,
And
Glenn.
one last note on that. Thank you so much, Jonathan. They're welcome to reach out to the planner and schedule a meeting and view the physical plans, as Jonathan mentioned.
Mhm.
All right, thank you, guys. Thank you.
All right, moving on to the staff update. Gwen.
I don't think I have an update. But I will say that, sorry, going back to, yeah, no staff update. But I'm continuing to message with Tatiana. And just wanted to ask on behalf of the applicant if BAR can still provide comments on item C1, even though we didn't have the plans within the specified timeframe.
For final, we're not supposed to, but and I mean, no matter what, they're going to have to come back. So we'll review it. Is there something they had a specific question on that they can point to?
Jonathan, I think if you're on, if you want to speak directly and if you have a specific question, I think you can go ahead.
Yeah, the main thing is that, like I said, the building changed a little bit on the front facade from a wood add-on structure on the porch. It's now part of the prefab building for it just made it more economical for the client. And so we made that change, and there were some color changes to the roof. It was a green before, now it's a dark warm it's slate gray that's on there, and we're adding the downspouts. So just wanted to get your opinion on everything else. A bit, the height hasn't changed or anything like that. The cupolas are still there. So the basics of everything, it's still as it was when you first saw it in December.
Okay. Alex, do you want to see, or do you feel like you can see the plans even if we're not making if we don't make a motion on it?
Yeah, what happened with the landscape? The landscape is out of the question. I mean,
We don't have plans that show the landscape.
Yeah.
It's requested in the.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm just wondering, what specifically are you guys looking for as a landscape? I talked to a landscape architect and they were a little perplexed too, as far as what you guys want, because there's no real landscaping per se.
So I didn't make the comment, but my understanding is that the intent of the comment was to provide some type of planting to stabilize the disturbed areas where the grading is happening. So should we make a recommendation that at the next meeting, like at a minimum, there should be some type of hydro seeding on any disturbed slopes? I think that'll help you get through the process at the next meeting, just so it's not.
Ambiguous? Yes, that'd help out. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Okay. All right. Thank you for your guys' efforts on this. I think the most effective is going to be just to show a basic erosion control planting, which should be pretty straightforward. It can be a note on the plan. And then with the updated plans, and then come back for consent in 2 weeks. I'm sorry, but it is the procedure that we can't review if we don't have the plans ahead of time.
Okay.
All right, we're moving on to the rest of the consent
Thank you.
agenda. So item C1 will get continued.
Item C2, the tunnel ridge retaining walls, and C3 granite addition, I move to approve as submitted.
Second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
C3, or you did both?
We did, yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
All right, move on to item 1, the Cornbluth Family Trust new single-family dwelling. Yeah, you can come sit up here if whoever wants to speak. If it's, yeah, you can stand there, or if there's more people sitting, you can borrow one of these wireless ones for that desk. You're good there. Just make sure you have a mic next to you. All right, I'll read the description and then you can introduce yourself. Request of Patsy Price, agent for Peter Kornbluth. Here for conceptual review of a new 2-story residence with attached garage and driveway improvements of approximately 3,687 square feet, 610 square foot patio, a new septic system, and 6.5 foot tall 10,000 gallon water storage tank and driveway improvements, including a 1,064 linear foot, 2 to 7 foot high retaining walls. The parcel is currently vacant. Will require 3,190 cubic yards of cut and equal fill. The property is 45.82 acres. No specified address. It's located on Las Canoas Road in the Mission Canyon Community Plan area. You can go ahead and state your name and give us your presentation.
Keith Rivera, architect. I have the Kornbluths here as well as our civil engineer, Mike Gones. So this is a 45-acre parcel on the north side of Las Canoas, across from Schofield Park. It's outside of the Mission Canyon planning area, and it's in the urban zone. So the Kornbluths have lived on the adjacent parcel for decades. They built their original home there in the 80s, rebuilt their home after the T fire in 08, 09. As the Ceta fire. And so now they're proposing to build a home on the parcel that they own next door for their daughter and her family. So can we bring up the photos of the existing residents? And Peter, you want to say a few words about the project?
Yeah, that's great.
'89. And it's meets, for the most part, it meets fire department standards, although it will have to be widened because it was 12 feet historically. And now I believe County Fire wants 16. So that's where all the retaining walls come in, is widening the existing 12-foot road. We have a well on the property. We have approved septic on the property. So we're just ready to go. I'm going to get this thing happening. Yeah.
Did you want to take us through anything else?
Yeah, why don't we go back to that overall site plan? So scroll down to the lower portion. So the access point is there at Los Canoas. Peter's home, scroll up, is there to the left, that right there. Yeah. So that's his existing house you just saw. The proposed building pad area is that pink area to the right. So as Peter pointed out, the parcel had various ag uses over the years, so orchards and farming of different kinds. And so various portions of the site were disturbed for those uses, the building pad being one of those areas. And as Peter pointed out, we're reusing essentially the old ag road and just bringing it up to fire standards for the fire department, but we're doing it in a way that's going to minimize the grading and balance the earthwork on site. Can we go to the site photos, please? Go to page, yeah, there we go, all the way down. So here's the access point at Los Canoas. Next page, please. And then that veers off at a Y to the left to go up to Peter's existing house, and to the right, to the east, to the proposed project. So keep scrolling. So here's the lower portion of that existing ag road. Keep scrolling, and it keep going. It just climbs up the hill, and again, this will get widened to current fire standards all the way up. Keep going. Next one, and then one more, and then finally you arrive at the right there. Finally, you arrive at the building pad, and so again, this area was previously disturbed by some greenhouses for the ag use. And you can see how the site continues up behind the building pad, pretty high up in elevation. Peter's house is to the left there, just barely visible next to the profile of the hill. Next page, please. And so this is looking south, got the channel in the background, but you can see how isolated the site is. There's virtually no adjacent neighbors except for Peter and Story, who live next door. Next slide. Exception to that might be St. Mary's, which is visible on the ridge line there to the southeast. But other than that, there's really no adjacent neighbors that you're, looking at or looking at you. So if we could go back to the site plan, please. Okay, so you take that circuitous route up the old ag road to the building pad, and if you could scroll to the right, please. And then down, yeah, or pan out a little bit, yeah. So you, at the top of that road, there's a surface parking area created that doubles as the fire turnaround. And then you have the building pad to the northwest there. So from the parking area, you go up a short flight of stairs along a exterior walkway and enter the building on the east side. The building, you can see, has a varied footprint that follows the topography. On the south end, there's a terrace, and then the house kind of climbs up the hill behind it. So if we go to page 3, please. Zoom back a bit. So this is the lower floor plan. So you're entering the house on the right. You've got the common living spaces on the southern portion, kind of wrapping around the terrace. At the west end, you have a master suite. And in the middle, you have various kind of service functions that are all tucked into the hill, cave-like, as Peter talked about. And if you scroll up just a tad, and that's the outline of the upper floor. So you can see that the two levels are slid back to create kind of one-story masses with a very minimal two-story portion in the center. Next page, please. So this is the upper floor plan, some secondary bedrooms, a family room, and that has access to grade. But again, this kind of highlights how the two floors are really slid back with the topography with a very minimal two-story portion in the center. And if we could go to page 7, please. And at the top, that's the north elevation, so looking downhill. You've got kind of simple, varied massing that steps and mimics the hillside topo, and it's very reminiscent of Peter's existing house. And again, the structure is going to be built out of the same concrete panels, integral color, concrete finish, steel sash windows, and the railings at the terrace will be kind of minimal cable rails. Scroll down to the neck there. So west elevation, this shows again how, for the most part, it presents as a one-story mass. You can see that it's well below the allowable height limit that's dotted above. And go to the previous page, please. Roll up. And so this is the north elevation. So it basically presents a one-story face to the north. Then scroll down. And east elevation, same thing. So you can see how it works with the topography. You got a very minimal two-story portion in the center, and again, well below the building height. We go to page 8 in the sections. Right there. So that section 1 is through going east-west through the lower section. So you have the common living areas on the right and the master suite on the left. And the whole project uses low slope roofing that's going to all drain to the center of the footprint. So therefore you're eliminating any parapets and minimizing the building height. Keep scrolling down. That's again, middle one there. That's just east-west through the center, and that's kind of the only two-story section. But again, the utility spaces are tucked into the hillside. Keep scrolling. And so that's some numbers. Yeah, just up a little bit there. So north-south section. So again, kind of two-story. This is through the only through the family room, and then continue down. And then other north-south sections with the terrace off on the left, and then the common living areas, one more down. And then finally at the western end, but again, all the time working with the topography and stepping. If we could go to the perspective views. And the upper one, please. So here's a view from the south looking at the building. So varying massing, works with the topography, wraps around the terrace in a fashion that's really similar to the Cornbluth's existing house. And then next one, please. And this is just a view from kind of the southwest. So you get a view of the profile of the structure there, but again, kind of mimicking the landscape, just with some simple forms that kind of reflect the rugged landscape around it. And that's kind of it for the presentation. Again, we have Peter and Mike here if you have questions specifically about any of the site work.
Good. All right, move on to questions from the board. I have a couple.
I have a couple questions. Did you include any civil drawings? Do you have any sections of the retaining walls at the roads?
Yeah, the whole many pages of civil is in the set at
Oh, okay.
Scroll down. They're just really big, so it's a little hard to see.
3.1.
And do you think that the new efforts on the road are going to be visible from anywhere?
I'm sorry
Or
about
the efforts that you have to go to on the road, are they going to be visible, do you think?
Deep in the bottom of the canyon.
Is it?
If the people in St. Mary's train their heads and look straight down, they can see the road, but it's completely out of sight.
Okay. And then another question, well, let's look, okay, so road profile, where would you say is the most extreme wall?
That's after the switchback.
I'm Mike Goins, civil engineer. I think section M may be the worst condition. Uh, Yes, so down on the lower right is probably the tallest situation there.
Is that about 5 feet or?
Yeah. I think it's about 5 feet.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And those walls are going to be plastered?
That stretch is about, I'm gonna guess, 60 feet long.
Mm-hmm.
That one's 5-foot section.
And then, okay, thanks, Mike, for getting up and coming.
Well,
Now I'm going to go back to, oh,
Mike,
do you
for a
have
second,
questions
I'll
too?
have a, I'll
Yeah.
have a question for Mike. Without studying every percentage, does most of the driveway have to be concrete then? Is it over 20%?
15%.
It's all, okay, great. I just wonder what material in.
Make the existing ag road work as much as possible, but we
Okay.
kind of got into the grading quantities because the county wants 12-foot wide paved and then 2-foot shoulders on each side, but we negotiated with them to get 4 feet on one side, but we still got a 6-foot or 16-foot graded section.
Okay,
So
great.
Yeah, I have a,
Can I go back? Because I have some architectural questions too. Sorry. One is that how thick are the walls? Because part of the beauty of your house are the thick walls and the fact that you stone clad it.
8-inch thick, yeah.
Okay,
Um, Stone cladding on the existing house was 3/4 of an inch.
right,
It was a veneer essentially.
right.
And this house will be stucco over the skips panels.
Mhm.
So it'll actually be a little thicker because that'll be an inch versus.
Okay, because yeah, you had some very recessed windows in the photos of your
The
house.
other house had battered walls.
Mm.
I'm not going to repeat. It's just a little too much.
Oh, okay.
It's built like a ziggurat.
Yeah, no, it's nice.
These will be vertical walls, but it's going to be about 9 inches thick total.
Okay,
We'll be able to set the steel sash back to.
back to the inside.
Of that.
Okay. And then, did you have any concern about shading? Because, well, you know what it's like living up there. But, you have covered patios on your house, but there didn't seem to be anything.
Okay.
Mm.
There's an area in front of the house that's patio.
Well, yeah.
It's not covered.
Covered overhead.
Having completed design, yes, that whole patio area is going to need to be shaded.
Okay,
Just haven't gotten it.
And part of the concern is how to do that with the high fire.
right. That, we're interested in that.
Yeah.
Did it.
How are you going to solve that, Keith?
Yeah, we want to know how you're going to solve that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Did it, you saw there was, you know,
it was a substantial structure though,
Yeah, it was
that
a
created,
Steel beam with actually we actually use skip panel for
in
the,
the roof.
which is a little extreme because it's heavy.
Mhm.
I might not repeat. I'd like to do something lighter.
Okay. Cave dwelling. Evolving. Okay, I'm done.
I had,
no, it's 78. I don't need that much sun anymore. It's boarding cottage hospital. I've had enough.
yeah, I had the same question, so I'm glad we went through this. Just one question, where does all the cut and fill go? Is that on the road or is it on the house or? Yeah, that's quite a bit, 3,000 plus, yeah. Mm-mm.
Well, you can see on this picture here, this is a cross-section, the road, what you don't see is this lower point that I pointed out before, wraps around and goes up to the top part, and you see a fill slope there. So we're trying to balance on site if we can. But there's limits to what we can do based on the existing slope. So we actually have a temporary fill site on site until we get down the road and figure out what we're going to do with the soil, if we're going to haul it off or sell it or find a better place to distribute it. But there's a couple of fill areas down low when you first come in. you saw the road coming off of Los Canoas, and when it crosses onto their property, it makes the right turn. There's a fill area there also. So, and I can show you those on the plan if you want to see where
So,
they're at.
but it comes from the house or from the road, the cut?
From both.
Both? Mhm, okay.
It is a bit of a difficult site because we have a water course along the right side of the road as you go up that we had fish and game limitations. We got oak trees. We've got this road slope maximums that we've got to stay within. So it came from both the road and the house.
Any other questions? Nope. All right, we'll move on to public comment. Is there anyone in the audience or online who would like to speak on this item?
We have received no letters and we have nobody in the attendees column. If anybody's here for a public comment, please raise your hand. Seeing none.
Okay, we'll close public comment and move on to comments from the board. Josh, do you want to go first?
It's a very supportable project as presented. I think the siding is well done. The balancing of the grading on site is appreciated, and obviously the road access is necessary, so it looks like it's been taken very seriously and with a lot of care. So I think that's good. As far as the architecture of the house, it just follows all of the established design guidelines and standards and best practices for building in this geographic area, and I think it's a very reasonable solution. So mass bulk and scale are appropriate. The neighborhood, the style, architectural style is very compatible with the neighborhood, and overall the architecture is great. It looks to be very acceptable. So 100% supportive of it at this point.
I agree. The only thing I will miss is the stone clad. I think it works very well on the existing house. Too bad that you don't want to do that on the next one. I'm sure you have your reasons, but I think it looks.
If we can afford it.
Okay.
What we're hoping to do is that slightly taller section.
Uh-huh.
Hoping we can clad that because
Mm.
we very much like to ground it. And we love that part of our house.
Mm. Mm.
So
Yeah.
we can't commit to that yet, but that's what we're aiming towards.
Yeah.
And then hopefully when we do get our shelter worked out, hopefully we'll have some stone pillars that will also pull it into the ground. I'm a sculptor, so that
Okay.
Well,
Well, okay. Good.
hoping we can afford it.
Right, okay. Very good. Okay. I'm looking forward to seeing what you can come up with. Thank you.
There's a story behind the stone veneer.
Brief
that When our house
story.
This house was adobe. And the insurance company was required to replace it. And the only company that made adobe had been long out of business. And the amount of money that it would have taken to actually do adobe financed stone. In a way, we got kind of lucky in that sense. By the way, the previous house was a wood framed house veneered in adobe, and it burned. So we were able to completely clad the thing with Flagstone, with Oklahoma, based on that story.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very nicely designed project. It's going to fit into the mountainside, and you understand what it's like to live in that environment, and it checks all the boxes of what we would want to see. And yeah, I'll be interested to see how you develop further with your shade. Yeah,
How to shade the thing.
and I too love the stone. It's beautiful.
Maybe I can do a GoFundMe or
Yeah, I'll echo a lot of those comments. I think you guys have a challenging site with the driveway, and I don't envy having to do all that work to make it fire provable. It's too bad fire department doesn't have more off-road type vehicles, but I think you guys did a nice job kind of setting the house into the hillside. I think maybe a comment would be, I think a landscape plan should be forthcoming, and it looks like there's quite a bit of grading, as you know, along the driveway, and there's trees, it appears, along the driveway as well. So I think an arborist report would be warranted, but I don't know how other landscape architects on the board feel. And then as far as the entry, maybe we can just, I know it's conceptual, but I would really encourage looking at how as you get up to the motor court and enter the house, it looks a little abrupt with the staircase, and it looks like there's an opportunity there to really do an interesting entryway up to the front door and maybe make that fire turnaround kind of motor court area feel more integrated, and potentially go away from asphalt if possible and maybe a softer material.
Okay.
Those are my comments. Thank you.
There's only the portions of the road that are between 10 and 15% will have to be asphalt. Everything under 10% is not. It will be compacted base. And we've already gotten engineering on that. So that turnaround area will not be asphalt. It's pretty flat right there. The other thing is there are no trees removed as part of the road grading. There is tree impact because we're within the drip line, and that's all in the bio report.
Okay, so there's a
Actually
bio
no
report.
oak trees removed as part of the additional. The only grading we're doing, of course, is that extra 4 feet because we have a 12-foot road, but there's
Right.
there's no oak trees within that.
Right. It looks on a lot of sheets, it does look like it extends pretty far away from the driveway. For instance, on sheet 14, you have the grading. So there's going to be a lot of disturbed area. I think we would like, or I would like to see how that's going to be planted, and whether it's hydro seeding or whatever you guys decide to do. But
The biological report does have mitigation measures spelled out. So
I
we'll
don't think it ended up in our.
yeah, I didn't see a bio report.
So when you come back, just ask your planner to make sure it's in there.
We had to make a decision whether to build those retaining walls or whether to grade those slopes. And one of the reasons we decided to do the retaining walls was to avoid
Protect some.
having a bunch of grading and replanting of those slopes.
Mhm.
Basically, it's just a cut into natural grade retaining wall. So we shouldn't have to do a bunch of restoration behind the wall.
Could we just flip to sheet 14, please?
Technically, I'm supposed to just give you 1 minute to respond at the end rather than having a conversation. So we'll just.
I think this was one of the areas where it looked like it was, kind of really bleeding out, and it's at the entry. Maybe it would be nice to see what's being planned.
we'll look at that for the next time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, Robert.
Yeah, I agree with all the positive comments. I also agree with kind of what Kira's picking up on, that maybe the house kind of feels like its own like island right now in the middle of this big hillside. And I think the landscape plan could eventually kind of help anchor it down, into the context of the mountain, which, the terrace kind of, it's its own piece. Kind of like there's nothing that really like grounds it into the landscape. So I think the landscape plan is going to be nice. Potentially maybe give you some circulation around your new home, and like how do you access it? From the driveway, I agree that the stairway and the walkway, they feel like very regimented, and maybe there's an opportunity to soften it a little bit with the landscape meets the home.
Behind all this.
So I think we all look forward to seeing that part. But it's a beautiful home. I'm sure you guys will realize a nice home up in that space. Great design.
I agree with all the positive comments and look forward to seeing how the landscape grounds it into the mountainside. You are here for conceptual. I think this can come back preliminary full board, unless you feel like you're coming back with final level plans.
Probably preliminary. would be
Okay.
good.
Yeah, I think since we haven't seen landscape yet and the Bow report and all that. All right, thank you. All right, item 2 has been continued. So our last item, wait, I think, yeah. Item 3, the Wolfenbark Trust covered deck. Oh, we were told it was continued. Why don't we get that confirmed from the planner and we'll do item 3 and then we'll come back to 2 if we need to. All right. We're doing 3 right now. Wolfenbark Trust covered deck request of what?
Go.
Oh, I thought you were gonna make fun of how I probably mispronounced the name. A request of Steve Wilson. I know. Just assuming I'm being mocked. Agent of the owners of the Wolfenbark Trust, here for conceptual review of a demo of an existing 456 square foot deck and construction of a new 590 square foot deck with trellis, interior remodel, new doors and windows on west elevation. The following structures currently exist on the parcel. 3,700 square foot main residence, 430 square foot guest house, and 142 square foot shed. The proposed project doesn't require any cut or fill, and it's located on a 0.46 acre parcel at 785 Charlotte Lane in the Mission Canyon area. Go ahead and state your name and give us your presentation.
Yeah, it's Steve Wilson, agent for the owners. So this is a pretty straightforward, simple project. Basically removing a deck that exists that's kind of in disrepair and replacing it with something a little more up to date. Not visible from the street. It's on Charlotte Lane, which is just off Foothill behind the Mission, kind of adjacent or to the east of the Mission. I don't think there's a whole lot that is entailed in this one. You know, there's not a lot of visibility. We can flip to here. Yeah, but we can get to looking at the aesthetics of it and get you guys' feedback. We are doing a little bit of interior remodeling, replacing a couple doors and windows, changing a few openings, but those are all on that west side.
It looks like the most telling sheets might be page 14 with the renderings. Is that
Yeah, we can go. There's a couple elevations and sections and things,
okay?
but yeah. The current deck right now is, as I mentioned, in disrepair. It's pretty low. There's a staircase that kind of leads right down to the pool that goes straight out. So we're kind of doing a flanking staircase on each side, making it a little bit deeper and wider, more usable, and giving it a covered gable on that west side for a little more protection.
It's pretty straightforward. Anything else?
Or yeah.
Move on to questions from the board. Anyone have any questions? Nope. All right, move on to public comment. Is there anyone in the audience or online?
If anybody has a public comment on this item, please raise your hand. We have nobody in the attendees, or did you? Yep, nobody.
Okay, we'll close public comment and move on to comments from the board. If the architects want to go first, it's pretty.
Yeah, I think it looks fine. When I first saw it, I thought, oh, you have to do a lot of stairs there, but I actually have grown to appreciate that you've been able to create a lot of usable space where there is none because the pool is so close.
Yeah.
So I think it's good.
Yeah, the owners have young kids and the stairs spill straight out to the pool, so a little.
Yeah, like they could do a cannonball off like the middle of the run.
I think they can still do cannonballs.
Just put it.
Yeah.
I was wondering about the height of the middle part. The gable is existing, right, on the wall. Is that and you continue the gable, the roof over the gable?
The gable over the deck is new. So currently, we could look through some of the existing photos, but there's like a covered trellis area in the back.
Yeah.
Ties back,
What?
These are all street frontage.
it's back.
Yeah, Ron, no, I understand, but right now there is no, there's a gable there and you continue the gable, is that?
The existing home has a northwest gable, and so we're proposing to add.
Okay, yeah, it does seem, if you go back to it does seem like a few, kind of high. Inside, there's no vaulted space inside the room. There's no opportunity for a transom window or anything. It does seem a little high. I would lower it, but I'm not sure what the rest of the board feels, but
The renderings make it look a little deceiving in terms of its height. The reality is the existing trellis is low, and you can see that we're working to add those trellises on each side of it to give them a little bit more head height.
Yeah, yeah. Well, anyway, maybe it's a personal opinion. I shall leave it to the rest of the board, okay?
Yeah, we could always lower that a little bit too.
It could lower and still
So-
have the clearance from the trellises.
Since there is no window above that, one thought would be to just integrate it more into the architecture. I mean, that's what I would do. I think the column elements on the end look really spindly. If we're talking about it, I actually think it's fine whatever it's a deck. So, but if we're going to talk about it, they probably like the A-frame look, but I think if you take the plate height of the trellis that's existing and created a framed vaulted ceiling there, but brought it down in the front and made those forward columns plastered, and so that structure feels like it's actually part of the house, and then the trellises are on the side, I think it would look a lot more balanced.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a pointer. There's a pointer?
Yep.
Cool. Does it work?
Yeah, I
So,
follow you.
like if these columns were thick, like 24 inches by 24 inches, and they were plastered, and you soften it along here, just enclose this whole space, and then you could have a hip inside of it, but then this element would feel like it's part of the house, and these would be complementary, and it would land with some legs. Right now, it looks kind of like things I see in Costa Rica. It just kind of looks a little hacked together, and it's a lot of framing that's this is like this one wood column all the way down. It's a pretty expensive piece of wood. I don't even know if well, I'm sure they do, but anyway, I don't know if that's a comment or suggestion. I don't really care. It's a deck, so they could have whatever they want. It's totally private.
Here for conceptual.
Yeah, so I certainly wouldn't hold this up. I'm just being an architectural snob right now.
All right, here.
Yeah, I think it's out of the public views, and I think it's a nice addition to the usability of the space. Of course, that was kind of my first reaction, though, not to tack on, but it was that it looked a little bit unfinished in a way, or kind of a departure from the architecture. And I kind of agree with integrating plaster columns or something that makes it feel more part of the architecture. But again, I think it's out of the public view, and they should be able to get what they want if they really like this design. But I kind of agree with those comments that it should feel more integrated with architecture.
Hey, Jonathan, can you go to the rendering of it, please? As my initial reaction to it was that the stairs kind of felt redundant, but there's probably a good reason that the family wants to have two sets of stairs. Just initially, I thought if you eliminated that set of stairs on the right-hand side, it would really make that space adjacent to the outdoor bar a lot more usable, where you could put more furniture and whatnot. To me, it feels like that stairway kind of cuts off the indoor-outdoor feeling that lower level has. But if it works for everybody, I don't have any problem with it. That was just my initial observation of it.
Yeah, we looked at a bunch of options there and ultimately decided the symmetry took precedence over that function.
Fair enough. Yeah, well, you got a strong sense of symmetry there, so I think it should be allowed to proceed.
I agree. I think some amount of, some exercise in figuring out how to ground it a little bit might be suggested, but overall, since it's not visible, I think it is acceptable. That it's not visible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What-
Well, you have our comments, so
what
when
is
you
the-
return.
What's the height from the deck up to the beams of that gable? Because it's true, when you look at the lower part and you look above the deck, it is pretty extreme.
To that,
Like the plate height of the gable.
plate height of the gable is probably 9 feet.
It's got to be more than that because it's so much bigger than the underneath.
I don't know.
It looks like 12 or 13 feet. But if you look at the proportion between what's under and then it's almost twice as
It's a
tall.
really low understory. That lower level is.
Mm.
But we can look at it.
Okay.
Okay.
And you're here for conceptual, so you can take our comments and
Yep.
return for preliminary. And yeah, preliminary final if you,
Be great.
yeah, okay. Full board, just so that we can see how you resolve it.
Okay.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
All right, and that concludes the SPAR hearing.